Hey, really appreciate everybody coming. This is awesome. As we indicated in the release that we sent yesterday, today is a sad anniversary. It's been 25 years ago today that Rosie Tapia was murdered, and that murder remains unsolved. We had two purposes today. One is primarily to make Louine available to answer questions and talk about Rosie and her hopes that this case will be solved. We also wanted to announce a memorial program named for Rosie Tapia, and I sent a poster of it to everybody yesterday. If there's anybody that did not get the poster yesterday, let me know afterwards and I will send it to you. But in commemoration of the 25th anniversary of Rosie Tapia's murder, the Utah Cold Case Coalition is not only continuing to work on this case, and Jason will provide updates on that, but we're also launching a new program to identify unidentified bodies in the Intermountain region. I don't know whether a lot of people know this, but there are dozens of people whose bodies have been found in Utah, for example, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, and they've never been identified. So there are people out there who are wondering what happened to their loved one, and it turns out that the answer is in somebody's evidence locker. I do have one quick statistic on the number of unidentified bodies in the Intermountain region. Let me grab my phone. Okay, the number of unidentified bodies that have been listed on the government website in Utah is currently 32. Colorado has 85. Idaho has 23. Montana has 20. Nevada has 301. So those are people. Those are children and parents and siblings. And that's the reason why our nonprofit is now offering no-cost DNA testing and genetic genealogy to any law enforcement agency that has any of these unidentified bodies in these states, so that we can help people get some closure. And the name of this program is the Rosie Tapia Identification Project. We call it RTIP for short. Jason, do you want to give an update? Where are you? Jason, you ready?
Yeah, I just don't know why my phone was ringing.
That's okay. Jason will give an update within general parameters. There's some things we can't talk about, but generally what the coalition has been doing to try to help with Rosie's case, and then Louine will be available to answer questions and talk about Rosie and what this sad anniversary means to her. Thank you.
Good morning, all. To reiterate what Kara mentioned just moments ago, this is a sad day. 25 years unsolved, not having answers over the loss of a 6-year-old. It's like a family's worst nightmare twice. It's bad enough that this child was abducted from her bedroom, which is all of our own sanctuary. We would never dream that someone could waltz into your home and take your child that way. And then, to compound that, 25 years we're still here wondering what happened to her. Who had the audacity to walk into to climb through the window and take this child? What was their motive? I mean, was it just lust of a child, like a pedophile, or is this some kind of payback, some kind of retribution? These are some of the things that we've all had to explore while we're investigating this. And not only is it sad, extra sad for being the 25th year, but over last year, a few months ago, we lost another dear family member for the Tapia family, Emilia Elizondo. She was the older sister that was babysitting Rosie the night before her abduction. So that's a key witness. And what's significant about that is now the Tapia family has to mourn the loss of two of Luween and Roberto's children. So, yeah, one was an adult, but she lived her whole life with guilt. Not guilt of actual culpability, but she carried on her back the belief that if she would have slept in bed with her, or if she would have let her sleep on the couch in the living room like Rosie wanted, or if she would have left the lights on instead of turning them off, maybe, just maybe, this killer wouldn't have had the nerve to go in through the window, or if he did, that Rosie wouldn't be there. But it's sad to think that as a sibling, someone that was entrusted to watch your kid would live with that kind of guilt that I could have done something differently. Well, you know, that's hindsight. 2020, we all could make life better if we could act on hindsight. But Emma, what was her name affectionately, didn't have any fault in this. She's not the killer. She's not the kidnapper. She was the babysitter. She was 18 years old. She was the sister. She loved her sister, and that's one of the last things that she made clear to me before she died. She loved her sister. She had no reason to keep any secrets on the investigation, to keep anything from law enforcement. She didn't withhold any information that would have had steered this case differently and had a better outcome to this point. So sadly, she's not with us. The only consolation that we have is to know that at least Emma right now knows who her killer is. She's in heaven with Rosie, and her peace can start now. So that leaves us the living. We still want to know who killed Rosie. It's been 4 years now, nearly. Oh, actually 4 years that I've been on the case. Tom and Kara have been on the case for 2.5. We want to know who, actually 3 years almost. We want to know, the family wants to know, the public wants to know. That's why you're all here. If nobody cared, the media wouldn't be here, and we do appreciate you. You guys are always responsive. You guys are always helpful. We always try to share what information we can with you because we know it's going to take a community effort to bring this family peace. That when we let information out, you guys share that, somebody gets nervous. Somebody makes a wrong move. We got a sketch out that was pending since 1998 to come out. We brought that out last year. You guys did a super job getting it out. The police and our coalition have all got good leads, people that recognized the sketch, that thought this was their friend, their neighbor, or whatever. That's still pending. We're still trying to find, still trying to resolve who that individual was. A couple years ago, I went to an interview with law enforcement of Emma. They went back to her with misinformation. They wanted to know, they heard a rumor that there was a party that night, the night when she was babysitting. We, honest to God, do not believe there was a party. We have good, solid reasons. Not only do we believe Emma when she said there's no party, but there was no evidence to support that there was a party that night. Number one, that was Rosie Tapias' home. When she came home, she didn't kick a bunch of juveniles out. She didn't find the house in disarray with beer cans or bottles of alcohol or cigarette butts or anything like that. The house was in order. The other thing that this misinformation was delivered to the police, concerning that is the other evidence is that no neighbors came forward saying that there was a ruckus there. There's people coming in and going out. There was loud music or anything like that. So there is no evidence there was a party. Somebody, and I respect law enforcement for not sharing information. It's not safe for the integrity of a case. Somebody gave them misinformation. That's my belief. But I dare challenge This is information I would like the public to research and respond. If you believe there was a party because you saw the party or you attended a party, let us know. Let the police know. Because I believe the police approach to this is that if there was a party, one of the party goers killed Rosie. Now, that was made known to Emma. If Emma believed she was holding information in about a party, that one of her friends that came to that party was guilty, she would have been first in line to divulge that list. She would have recanted prior stories. This is her family, 25 years of guilt. She would have divulged that. That's human nature. I'm sure she would have revealed that. So if there was a party, let us know. If there was just a small get-together, no party, but a couple friends, let us know. If there was no party whatsoever, but you know this misinformation came out, please let us know why that misinformation came out. That's all we want to know. Let's move on with the investigation. Our greatest fear is this misinformation will just cause another year of needless delay. Let's get past that so that we can focus on real evidence. Any questions? Oh. Okay. Kara just wanted me to update you on the status of DNA. If anyone watched the Paula Zahn episode that featured Rosie that came out last year, there was some information about DNA shared there that they had a partial profile. What is also known from that is because it was partial, we think that that's emboldened certain people to think that, oh, there's no evidence here. Well, if you also watch that episode, you know that they had a geneticist. What's Colleen's actual title?
Currently?
I mean, what is she?
She's a genetic genealogist.
Yeah, a genetic genealogist, Colleen Fitzpatrick, worked on the evidence, and we believe that she's expanded that DNA knowledge. But that information's not shared with us because, again, police, rightfully so, has to maintain case integrity. So we will continue to be collecting DNA from any witnesses, any suspects, any persons of interest. If you know of anybody that might have been that person, let us know and we'll come by and collect their DNA for Intermountain Forensics to compare and share with law enforcement. So, you want to expand to that?
I just want to explain. You guys may already know this, but with a partial profile, you can't run that, typically you can't run that through CODIS. In other words, you can't run it through an existing database and see whether it produces a hit. With a partial profile, you have to identify a person's, a specific person's DNA, and then it is run, and then it is compared to the partial profile. So when you have a partial DNA profile, a lot of times it is a one at a time thing. Here is this person's DNA, and since we have not been given a copy of the partial profile, we have to say, here is someone's DNA, please compare it to the profile. So, it's not, because of the partial issue, that's why it's not like on the TV where you can just run it into a database. Louise, do you want to just say something?
Good morning. Any questions? Oh, you could ask questions. My thoughts every year is that I want closure for my daughter, Rosie. And being 25 years today, I still don't have the answer. And it's harder for me every year, especially now that I lost another daughter. So it just hurts me so bad. I just want to find the person who took her and make them pay for what they did to her. So, no, I was always hoping that through the years that something would come up and we would solve her case. And I still not given up hope that one day we will solve her case. And I just know that there's somebody out there that knows something, but they don't come forward to give us that information. I'm very grateful for that because as I watch the news or I see stuff on Facebook that, you know, people are missing or they found body parts or something, you know, I'm a parent. I want justice just as much as they do. So I'm hoping that this will help all the families and that they could get justice also for their loved ones. Yeah, I'm really confident that between Kara and Jason that we're going to find the person who took my daughter. Demo? No, her birthday was in February and we went out for lunch and she told me, Mom, she goes, I don't have a secret. I don't know why they keep saying I have a secret. She goes, if I had a secret, I would tell you. She goes, but I don't have a secret. And she cried. She cried and she told me. And then she got ill and was put in the hospital. And just before she passed away, 2 weeks before she passed away, we couldn't see her. So it just tore me apart that we, as a family that were so close, we didn't get to say goodbye to her. But I know deep down that if Emma had a secret, she would have told me, or she would have told her sisters or brother or somebody in the family what had happened. Anything else?
Just a reminder. Thank you, Louise. Sorry. One last reminder that this August for Cold Case Month, the Coalition is offering a $10,000 reward for any information that leads to closure of Rosie's case or any cold case in Utah. So if you've known something about Rosie's case and you've been waiting, this is the time. Thank you everyone for coming. Appreciate it.